Alright, hello everyone and welcome back to another stream. We are switching to a new game, and we are switching to a game that is very near and dear to my heart. Tomb Raider I-III Remastered. The original Tomb Raider game from 1995 was one of the first two games that I completed from start to finish. And it is in my top 3 games, or the original Tomb Raider trilogy, I should say, is in my top 3 games of all times. It is hard to put into words exactly how much this series means to me, how much, especially the original trilogy, means to me, because not only was it a great game, but also it is a very exploration and adventure focused game, and I, as a little kid, was very exploration and adventure focused, but physically not in a healthy enough state to actually do that in real life. And to then play as Lara Croft, who has no such limitations, to be able to just get lost in these worlds and explore and have as many adventures as I wanted. It was fantastic. It was phenomenal. And Lara is a brunette like I am, so it was very easy for me to just, put myself in her shoes basically and imagine that was really me running through all those locations. And I had always had an interest in ancient civilizations, so her being an archaeologist was just like, okay, this is me if I was rich and not having health issues, So, and it was, I know it seems very trite these days, but back then, having a female protagonist in a game like this, where there's no focus whatsoever on romance or anything like that, or any other things that are typically associated with feminine stuff, just action-adventure game, female protagonist, doesn't give a fuck, she's rich, she's unmarried, she's going on adventures, she don't care. That was so revolutionary. It is hard to overstate how revolutionary that was. We look back at it now and we go, yeah, well, everybody just played the game for the Toblerone titties. And that may be true. A lot of people came to the game for the Toblerone titties, but they stayed for the good gameplay. They stayed for a genuinely enjoyable experience. And in terms of just culture, this game was so influential, so forward for its time. It was amazing. And when I bought this remaster, it was actually, first of all, it was gifted to me, and then I bought it again, 2 versions on CD, because I just had to have it, and it is some of the best money I have ever spent. Seriously. Go buy this game. I can totally recommend it. I will say this though, if you play it, they introduced an update in March that that introduced a bunch of challenges and AI costumes, and it broke shit in the game. It's still broken. I actually went on Reddit to ask people like, hey, since the new patches, how's this game now? And people were like, nah, it's still shit. Play the version before the March patch if you can. So if you're going to get this game, get it on Steam, use the Steam console to install the old build from before the challenge mode, and play that. It is so much better than the current build. And it is legitimately one of the best games you will ever play. We can also switch back to the old graphics at any point by just pressing F1. So this is what the game used to look like back in 1995, when I spent an hour inputting DOS commands to get it to run on our old computer, okay? This game is so old we were using DOS commands to install games. That is how old this game is, and I was 7 or 8 when I played it, and it was the most amazing game I had ever played, and it remains one of the most amazing games that I've ever played. So we're mostly going to be staying in the modern graphics, but we are going to switch back to the old graphics now and then, where I feel like I should really show you guys what it looked like. We are going to play through the first, second and third game completely, including the DLCs, and we're going to get all the secrets, at least all the ones we can. I'm going to get to that later when we get to Tomb Raider 3. I cannot guarantee that I will find all the pickups, because there's some stuff that's really well hidden, and while it is a great game, it's not a game I could play every day. And if you want to see my actual reaction to this remaster when I first played it, go to YouTube, look up Tomb Raider I-III Remastered, playthrough, Emma-lition. That's Emma as in the name Emma, and then Lition as in demolition. So Emma-lition. Look her up. She got an early review copy, and her reaction to booting this game up was pretty much my reaction. So if you look up what it was like for her, you will know what it was like for me. I basically sat here bawling like a baby for 5 minutes because of the nostalgia. Anyway, one thing that I really like about Tomb Raider 1, 2, and 3 is that they outsourced the tutorial. So this, Lara's home, is the tutorial area. If you have already played the game, if you already know all the controls, you don't need to play this. We're still going to play it because it's a nice tutorial. But if you just want to jump into the game, you can do that and you don't have to sit through tutorials, which is really neat. So let's go. And if I remember correctly, these loading screens are new as well.
I'll take you on a guided tour.
Alright. So here we are, inside Lara's house. And this is what it looks like.
To go into the music room.
Yeah, honey, we're not using a controller. I am playing this on keyboard with tank controls, by the way, because that's how I played it when the game first launched. Those are the controls I'm used to, and those are the controls that work best for me. So, as you can see, this is what the modernized graphics look like. This is what it looked like, or somewhat what it looked like, in 1995. I say somewhat because, actually, it looked a bit worse than that, because we were not playing on 1920 by 1080 flat screen monitors in 1995, okay? We are playing on like the old screens where you needed screensavers so that the screen wouldn't get damaged if you stayed on one image for too long. And those were not as high detail as these. So imagine this, but with even worse detail, especially on Lara. Like, imagine it a bit more pixelated. That is what it looked like. But of course, when you played it, the human mind can fill in a lot of details. When we played it, we were like, oh yeah, so that's a portrait that's hanging on the wall. That's not just a little bit of mush, that's actually a portrait. Those are lions or cats or some kind on the ceiling. Those are inlays on the windows. Yeah, that's a fireplace. That totally looks like a fireplace with some hot pokers. So this is what it may have looked like actually, but this is what it looked like in the imagination. So they managed to capture that really well, and they actually decided to put some public domain pictures in here, like actual paintings, like the girl with the pearl earring over here, or Elizabeth over here. I think this is Shakespeare. Yeah, this is Shakespeare. So just real stuff, but this really is what it looked like in the imagination. And a really neat detail that they added to this little sitting corner over here, by the way, I could just curl up here in real life, is they put this book here, Vilcabamba, the Lost City of the Incas, which is already foreshadowing the plot of the game, because we are going to go to Vilcabamba. And the funny thing about Vilcabamba is it was actually an undiscovered city back in 1995, but then they found it after the game came out.
Okay, let's do some tumbling. Press the jump button. Now press it again and quickly press one of the directions and I'll jump that way.
Alright, so these are all the jumps you can do. If you're going forward, you can also do slightly diagonally. Not very much, but slightly. So you can course correct a little. And of course, if you're already doing a curve when you start the jump, you can course correct a little bit more. We can also do rolls. And a neat thing that they added, in the original, you could not do the rolls in the air, but you could in Tomb Raider 2, and so they added it to Tomb Raider 1 as well, which is really nice. We've got a harp here. Lara canonically plays the harp. We're actually going to see her play the harp in Tomb Raider 4 Remastered, if and whenever we get to the one, because that's now on the list thanks to this game being selected.
Ah, the main hall. Sorry about the crates. I'm having some things put into storage and the delivery people haven't been yet.
And just this little line does so much to make her feel more like a character. Because she doesn't just have, you know, she doesn't just have boxes in there for the sake of tutorial. Gameplay-wise, obviously, it's for the sake of a tutorial. But Lara has boxes here.
And while still pressing forward, press action and I'll vault up onto it.
Lara has boxes here because she's moving. Which, yeah, she's a rich lady. She probably has tons of stuff that she needs to move to her summer house or something. And we've got the Ark of the Covenant in here. There was actually a developer commentary about this in the anniversary version where they were like, we're not even sure if we were legally allowed to put that in. We just put it in anyway at the end because we were like, sure, why not? And thankfully nobody has sued. Now, this is how you would normally climb up a crate, but if you hold shift, which is the walk button, if you hold shift while climbing up, oh, there we go, you can do a handstand. And if you hold shift while jumping, you do a swan dive. So yeah, this is what this looked like in the original. And of course, Ark of the Covenant, the reason why I was in there is because actually Indiana Jones was a big inspiration for this game. The original drafts for the protagonist of Tomb Raider were very much Indiana Jones style character. And they actually designed this, and then I think it was somebody in publishing who was like, nah, this is too much like Indiana Jones, we're gonna get sued, change this. And the change they made was, okay, let's give him guns instead of a whip, and let's turn her into a woman. And that is how Lara Croft was born. So, amazing. Alright, let's go in here.
This used to be the ballroom, but I've converted it into my own personal gym. What do you think? Well, let's do some exercises.
And this too tells you so much about Lara as a character. Like, she has money to throw around. She's like, no, we're not gonna throw fancy balls. I'm gonna put a gym in here. I'm gonna train for my adventuring. Let's go. Absolute legend. Now, they did take out a bunch of the instructional dialogues because the game has two control schemes now. It has the tank controls and the modern controls. And obviously, all the old dialogues were for the tank controls. The tank controls might seem a bit unwieldy at first, but this game was made for tank controls because once you see it, you will never be able to unsee it. The game is made on a grid, okay? The game is made on a grid of squares. And everything works on those squares. Lara, when she does a roll, covers exactly one square. When you put her at the end and do the running jump, it will take her exactly one square to get that running jump. And everything is built on these squares. A jump forward is always going to be exactly 2 squares. So everything is built on this grid, and the tank controls are designed for the grid. So the tank controls actually help you, is what I'm saying.
I don't actually run everywhere. When I want to be careful, with the walk button down, I won't fall off even if you try to make me. If you want to look around, press and hold the look button. Then press in the direction you want to look.
Skipped ahead a little bit. So this is view. V for view.
If a jump is too far for me, I can grab the ledge and save myself from a nasty fall. Walk to the edge with the white line until I won't go any further. Then press jump immediately, followed by forward, and while I'm in the air, press and hold the action button.
So this sounds really complicated, but it's really just Alt, forward,
press
hold
forward
control.
And I'll climb up. If I do a running jump, I can make a jump like that, no problem. Walk to the edge with the white line until I stop. Then let go of walk and tap backwards to give me a run up. Press forward and almost immediately press and hold the jump button. I won't actually jump until the last minute.
Now we could actually do this two ways, because if we look down, that's 2 squares. We could actually either do a standing jump and grab, or we could do a running jump. Let's do a running jump.
Right, this is a really big one. So do a running jump exactly as before, except while I'm in the air, press and hold the action button to make me grab the ledge.
And this is 3 squares.
Nice.
So once you understand that, 2 squares, standing jump and grab, or running jump, 3 squares, running jump and grab, you will be able to really accurately judge what you can actually do and what you cannot do.
Try to vault up here. Press forward. I can't climb up because the gap is too small. But press right and I'll shimmy sideways until there is room. Then press forward.
And once again, it's really important to note.
Tap backwards and I'll jump off backwards. Immediately press and hold the action button and I'll grab the ledge on the way down.
It really cannot be overstated how revolutionary this was for its time. Platformers were either side-scrolling or they were like super simplified stylized things, but to actually have a platformer where everything is made to be as lifelike as possible, where you have a fully human-looking character to control, that was so revolutionary. And this game was made by 6 people, 7. If you include the guy who made the soundtrack, Nathan McCree. 7 people over the course of 1 year built this game. And actually the fact that they did it over the course of a year, that actually came back to haunt them, because back then they wanted, basically the publisher tried to do it like a annual release, so they had to pump the next game out in a year, and then the next game in a year, and then the next game in a year, and as you can imagine, that led to serious issues and burnout.
Let's go for a swim. The jump button and the directions move me around underwater. Air. Just use forward and left and right to maneuver around on the surface. Press jump to dive down for another swim about, or go to the edge and press action to climb out. Right, now I'd better take off these wet clothes.
And there we go, that was the tutorial. So in Tomb Raider 1, the house was only just a tutorial. In Tomb Raider 2 and 3, you can actually find some little secrets and details there. So that's really nice. Now let's jump into the actual game proper. And I love that the save menu is made like a passport, and you will see this every time we finish a specific area of the game. We will get a stamp in our passport to show us that we've been there. It's really nicely done.
What's a man gotta do to get that kind of attention from you?
It's hard to say exactly, but you seem to be doing fine.
Well, great. Though truth is, it ain't me that wants you.
Oh?
No, Miss Jacqueline Natla does. From Natla Technologies. You know, creator of all things bright and beautiful.
Seal it, Larson.
Ma'am.
Feast your eyes on this, Lara. How does that make your wallet rumble?
I'm sorry, I only play for sport.
Then you'll like a big park. Peru? Vast mountain ranges to cover? Sheer walls of ice, rocky crags, savage winds, and there's this little trinket. An age-old artifact of mystical power is buried in the unfound tomb of Qualapec. That's my interest. You could leave tomorrow. Are you busy tomorrow?